Have you ever noticed subtle changes in how your friends interact with you? Maybe they suddenly seem more competitive, or conversations feel a little off, but you can't quite put your finger on why. The truth is, a hidden rivalry is brewing among your friends, and it's not about sports or careers. It's about you. You've become the prize in a competition that lies just beneath the surface of your everyday interactions. This quiet battle for your attention and approval is shifting the dynamics of your relationships without you even noticing. Without your knowledge, your presence has triggered something deeper within your social circle, a rivalry born from insecurities. It's not about material gain or obvious social status, it's something much more personal. Your traits, whether it's your calm aura, your confidence, or your success, have triggered unresolved feelings in those around you. This silent competition thrives in the background, turning even the most mundane moments into opportunities to outdo one another. In this invisible game, you are the unconscious prize that everyone is vying for, even though they would never openly admit it. In this video, we will uncover how insecurities manifest as hidden rivalries within friendships and social circles. We'll explore why, without meaning to, you've become the trigger for these subtle conflicts. From passive-aggressive comments to silent grudges, your friends may exhibit behaviors that stem from their unresolved feelings of inadequacy. We will also discuss how you can navigate this tricky terrain, where you are both the observer and the unintended focal point of the conflict, and how you can maintain your footing despite the turmoil around you. The competition for your attention isn't immediately obvious. Friends smile, laugh, and have a good time as usual, but there's a tension that wasn't there before. It starts small. Someone suddenly feels the need to outshine you in conversations or subtly criticize another friend in your presence. What was once a relaxed, carefree atmosphere has shifted, and you wonder if you're imagining it all. But this is no illusion, the dynamic is changing as everyone vies for your approval in their own way. At the core, there's an invisible rivalry. You didn't ask to be in this position, but your traits, your confidence, your calm, or even your achievements, make you a mirror in which others see their own perceived flaws. When someone sees qualities in you that they lack, it can evoke feelings of jealousy or inadequacy. Rather than dealing with these insecurities internally, they project them outward, often targeting those closest to them, like you. You've become the silent trigger for a competition that plays out in subtle and sometimes destructive ways. The signs are there if you know what to look for. What was once playful teasing now carries a sharper edge, and compliments often come with hidden barbs. Friends might give you unsolicited advice or overly concern themselves with your well-being, but their gestures are tinged with an underlying motive. They want to be seen as the person who understands you best, the one you value the most. You may find yourself being pulled in different directions as each friend tries to subtly influence your perception of them, all while maintaining the appearance of normality. When friends feel threatened by what you represent, whether it's success, emotional stability, or personal growth, deep-seated insecurities can be awakened. These insecurities often have little to do with you personally, but instead reflect their inner struggles. If left unchecked, these unresolved feelings can surface in strange and often harmful ways. Unbeknownst to you, your friends might begin harboring jealousy or resentment towards you, not because of what you've done, but simply because of what you are and what you symbolize in their eyes. When these insecurities rise to the surface, jealousy and rivalry can take root. It might start harmlessly, but before long, the dynamic shifts from supportive friendship to quiet competition. Perhaps a friend who once celebrated your successes now downplays them, or another begins to withdraw, unable to cope with the reminder of their own perceived shortcomings. Even conversations become coded, every word seeming to carry an unspoken meaning. You stand in the eye of an emotional storm, wondering what's changed, without realizing that your very presence has triggered these feelings in others. Once these emotional undercurrents are unleashed, they create an invisible battlefield. Each friend may feel the need to subtly assert themselves as the better or more valuable companion in your life. This need for validation becomes the driving force behind their actions. They may not confront you directly, but through small gestures, sarcastic remarks, or veiled criticism, they make it clear that a competition is underway. And while this battle is fought in whispers and passive-aggressive behavior, the emotional toll on the friendship can be devastating. When insecurities go unresolved, people find it easier to project them onto someone else rather than face their own weaknesses. In this case, you become the easy target. Your friends might begin accusing you, either openly or subtly, of being the cause of the emotions that have surfaced. It might be something as trivial as accusing you of being distant or changed, even though, in reality, their perception of you has shifted due to their own internal battles. Your ability to stay grounded and composed can be misunderstood as arrogance or distancing. For someone struggling with feelings of inadequacy, your calmness might appear as indifference or superiority. They interpret your confidence as disinterest, and instead of confronting their own issues, they begin to envy qualities in you that they wish they had themselves. This misunderstanding deepens the divide between you and your friends and fuels the hidden competition further. In truth, you haven't done anything wrong. You didn't ask for this competition, and you certainly didn't intend to make anyone feel inferior. But your mere presence, your traits, achievements, and calm demeanor, has sparked something in the people around you. The frustration they feel has less to do with you and more with what they see in you, their own unresolved insecurities and flaws. Instead of confronting these inner battles, they externalize them and make you the silent trigger for their emotional storm. As the competition intensifies, friends may begin to seek your validation more openly, though often in disguised ways. They might give you unsolicited advice, position themselves as the wise friend, or try to align more closely with your values. Each friend vies for your attention in their own way, hoping to prove their worth to you through subtle comparisons and expressions of loyalty. In their minds, winning your approval becomes synonymous with confirming their own self-worth. Behind every compliment, gesture, or offer of help could be a hidden motive, standing out as the friend you value most. What was once a natural, effortless friendship now feels strategic. Every interaction is charged with the need to be seen and acknowledged, to rise above the other friends in your life. This hidden competition, driven by their need for validation, starts to erode the authenticity of the relationships and turns once supportive connections into battlegrounds with concealed intentions. The truth is, their struggles are with themselves, not with you. They might emotionally withdraw or start to criticize your actions pettily, convinced that you've somehow changed or become disinterested. In reality, their insecurities have transformed your calmness into something more threatening than it truly is. This perception of you as distant or unapproachable only deepens the divide and makes it harder to maintain the closeness and trust that once existed. Over time, this distance can create a feedback loop. As they withdraw or behave differently, you may naturally become more reserved, further reinforcing their belief that you're detached from them. They interpret your composure as a lack of care for their well-being, which can deepen their feelings of isolation and resentment. In their minds, your calmness only highlights their inner chaos, creating an almost insurmountable divide. What they fail to realize, though, is that your groundedness is not a rejection of them but a reflection of personal growth, something they too could achieve if they confronted their own insecurities. This growing divide can leave you feeling frustrated, confused, and even guilty for traits that should be celebrated. Your calm, emotional stability, or success become the source of conflict, though you never intended it. As this cycle of misunderstandings and resentment continues, the friendships that were once based on mutual support and understanding may begin to feel increasingly tense or even toxic. You might wonder what, if anything, you can do to heal these relationships while also realizing that the core issue lies in their struggles with themselves, not anything you've done. Friends may get caught up in subtle manipulations to seek validation, often without even realizing it. Passive-aggressive behavior becomes a tool to express their insecurities without confronting you directly. A friend might make a sarcastic comment about your success, accompanied by a smile, leaving you questioning whether they're truly happy for you or harboring resentment. These passive-aggressive behaviors can take many forms, from seemingly harmless jokes about your decisions to ambiguous compliments that make you feel more criticized than praised. These actions serve as an outlet for their frustrations, while still maintaining the facade of friendship. Another form of manipulation manifests in exaggerated acts of support. A friend might go out of their way to help you in ways that seem excessive or unnecessary, only to remind you later of their sacrifices. These grand gestures are not necessarily motivated by genuine care but by a desire to position themselves as indispensable in your life. By doing more than what's needed, they hope to gain your recognition and attention, putting you in a position where you feel obligated to show gratitude. What seems like kindness on the surface is often an attempt to secure a higher standing in your life. Underhanded compliments are another common form of manipulation. A friend might praise you but with a twist that undermines the compliment. For example, they might say, "You're really good at this," for someone who's never done it before, subtly diminishing your achievement while still appearing supportive. These mixed messages create confusion and make you question the sincerity of the praise, while the friend maintains a sense of superiority. Over time, these manipulations erode the trust and authenticity that once existed in the friendship, gradually poisoning the bond. As this rivalry deepens, the trust that once formed the foundation of the friendship begins to erode. The subtle competition and manipulation create an atmosphere of distrust and defensiveness. Instead of being a safe space to share thoughts and feelings, the friendship becomes a battleground where every interaction is laced with unspoken intentions. The longer this behavior persists, the harder it becomes to maintain the genuine connection that once existed. You might begin to question the motives of your friend and wonder whether their support is truly sincere or if they are simply pursuing their own interests. The rivalry poisons the friendship by turning once honest interactions into calculated moves. Conversations that were once characterized by mutual support and understanding now become opportunities to outdo one another. Friends might start withholding information or telling selective truths out of fear that too much openness might give the other person an advantage in this unspoken competition. This gradual erosion of trust leads to a breakdown in communication, leaving you increasingly isolated from those who once seemed like your closest allies. With the erosion of the friendship, the authenticity that once made it meaningful fades. What was once a space for vulnerability and growth now becomes a place of cautious interactions and unspoken resentments. Friends who once celebrated each other's successes now view them through the lens of competition. The breakdown of trust damages not only the bond between you and your friends but also makes it difficult for anyone to move forward with honesty and openness. Without this foundation of trust, the friendship begins to crumble, leaving only a shell of what it once was. This hidden competition can eventually spiral out of control, trapping those involved in a cycle of jealousy and sabotage. What began as subtle manipulation and passive-aggressive behavior may escalate into more overt rivalries. Friends might start actively undermining one another to gain your favor, whether by pointing out each other's flaws or exaggerating their own contributions to the friendship. This constant need to prove themselves keeps them trapped in a never-ending cycle of comparison and insecurity, each trying to be seen as the most valuable friend in your eyes. As the competition intensifies, it affects not only individuals but the entire dynamic of the group. Friends who were once allies in shared experiences and mutual support now view each other as threats. They might begin to isolate themselves from the group or form alliances with others who share their insecurities. This shift in dynamics creates a toxic environment, where everyone is more focused on outdoing each other than fostering genuine connections. The longer the competition persists, the harder it becomes to return to the supportive and trusting relationships that once existed. Meanwhile, you stand at the center of this storm, often unaware of the chaos unfolding around you. You didn't ask to be put in this position, and you might not even realize the extent to which your friends are competing for your approval. As they are consumed by jealousy and rivalry, you remain the unaware epicenter, trying to maintain your groundedness amidst the growing tension. This can leave you feeling confused and frustrated, wondering why the dynamics of your friendships have changed so drastically. Yet, amidst all of this, you remain untouched by the rivalry, unaware that your mere presence is fueling it. This situation may be more than just coincidence, it could be a karmic reckoning for those involved. Karma is often seen as the energy we carry from our past actions, and in this case, the hidden competition among your friends could be their way of grappling with unresolved issues. These individuals may have spent their lives avoiding their insecurities and burying feelings of inadequacy deep within. But your presence, your confidence, and your success have brought these unresolved emotions to the surface, forcing them to confront parts of themselves they would rather ignore. This karmic reckoning isn't just about competition, it's about personal growth. For some of your friends, this rivalry could be the catalyst they need to face their insecurities head-on. It could be the lesson they need to stop comparing themselves to others and instead follow their own path. Growth, however, isn't always easy or welcomed. Some might resist it and hold on to old patterns of behavior, unwilling to acknowledge that the true battle lies within themselves. They may continue to project their insecurities onto you and others, deepening the karmic cycle instead of freeing themselves from it. For others, this situation offers a unique opportunity for self-awareness and transformation. Those who are ready to confront their insecurities may realize that the competition they've been part of was never really about you. It was always about their own unresolved issues, their need for validation, and their inability to accept themselves as they are. This realization may be painful, but it is also a necessary step toward personal growth. Whether they are ready for it or not, this karmic lesson will continue to play out until those involved learn to face their deepest fears and insecurities. Amidst this storm, it's important to remain strong in your power. The jealousy, insecurities, and manipulations of your friends do not reflect your worth, they are a mirror of their own inner battles. It's easy to get pulled into the drama and start doubting yourself, but it's important to remember that their actions are not your responsibility. You can't control how others perceive you or how they react to your success and groundedness. What you can control is your own response. Stand firm in who you are, and don't let their insecurities shake your self-confidence. Your worth doesn't depend on the opinions or actions of others. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking validation from others, especially when you're in the middle of a rivalry. But true strength comes from within. You don't have to prove anything to anyone or bend to the expectations of others. Your calmness, your confidence, and your success are not something you should feel ashamed of, they are the result of your own hard work and personal growth. Let go of the need to be validated by those who are still wrestling with their own insecurities. Instead, focus on nurturing the qualities that make you who you are. By continuing to stand in your strength, you may find that the competition around you loses its importance. When you stop seeking validation from others and remain firmly anchored in your own worth, the jealousy and manipulations of others begin to matter less. By staying true to yourself, you set an example for others. You show them that it is possible to be confident and successful without putting others down. In doing so, you not only protect your own inner peace but also create a path for others to find their own inner strength. The final message is simple yet powerful: you are not responsible for the insecurities of others. While it's easy to feel guilty or responsible for the tensions in your friendships, it's important to remember that you can't control how others react to you. Their jealousy, insecurities, and manipulations are their problems, not yours. By recognizing this, you free yourself from the burden of trying to repair relationships poisoned by rivalry. Instead, focus on maintaining your own inner peace and authenticity, knowing that you are not responsible for how others handle their emotions. As you continue navigating these dynamics, don't hesitate to fully embrace your power. The traits that have sparked jealousy and competition are exactly what make you unique and valuable. You don't have to dim your light to make others feel comfortable. Instead, let your strength, confidence, and calmness shine, knowing that you deserve success and recognition without having to engage in the toxic behaviors that have poisoned your friendships. By standing tall and living your truth, you inspire others to do the same. Finally, share your story. Let others know how you've stood your ground amidst jealousy, manipulation, and rivalry. Your journey of staying grounded and confident while others struggle with their insecurities can inspire those who are going through similar battles. By sharing your truth, you not only empower yourself but encourage others to stand in their own strength. Your story is one of resilience and power, and by fully embracing it, you give others permission to embrace their own inner strength and rise above the insecurities that might be holding them back.